I've just started this map. Okay, so let's explain this. So basically, I built this giant container around this town. I'm going to build this up in the sky quite a bit. And this town's supposed to be like SCP, full of SCPs or something like that. I'm going to do it later, blah blah blah. That's later game. So I've blocked off building houses like this. I'm building upstairs. This area here is going to be a giant container for like one SCP or two. You know, like in the game where there's big room as a container, the little lab watch over, and then the hallways. At the minute, there's also through here. There's a containing door. There's 2 containing doors on there. Then you come to this bit of the building. This is one of my old parts. Just gonna jump down for now. There is an actual stairway all the way down and up. There's this long hallway. It took me. I spent last night building this. It was quite a pain, but I built most of this in a day, so it's gone quite well. These have ceiling lights and everything. It's really cool. At the end here is the doorway, and this is how I've built it so far. There's going to be a bit more expansion later. It's kind of cool, but at the minute I built this, a hallway of offices. Oh, that's not a good example. Here's a good example. We've got a table, a chair, and a computer screen. And that is it, because it's SCP, it's not going to have a lot. And I've built a massive hallway. And upstairs here would be probably the main offices. I think how I'm building this is nothing's going to be on the ground floor except for this. This is on the ground floor. This is like the entrance way. Now if you want to see something cool, there's a way to see the doors here. Yeah, the doors are fans. So well, I can't be asked to keep it open all the time. Yeah, I built a stairway up, so this will have a couple of floors on it. And then up here is a room, nothing in it yet. So this is going to be the first part of the SCP containment, which will be a bunker containing, well, things. I'll start going underground later on. That's later on when I run out of space up here. Because I'm going to build this a bit higher, and then wall it in, and then put a ceiling on the top, so this whole cube will be lit up inside. That's a lot of work, and that's in the future. Because I've got to build a lot down here, a lot of lighting and shit like that. So yeah, it's cool. I mean, this is what the SCP thing gives you. Like, look at this. The mobs have textures. You've got the skin textures of these, weapon textures, potion textures. It's really fucking cool, and I really like it. This costs about £4 to get, to buy the pack and to get enough for this. It's way worth it. I was thinking in here later, I'll do things like these are like small SCPs. You know when you've got levels of SCPs, so you'd have, I don't know, D class of the unit. So you'd have like, let's say from a 1 to 10, and like these would be like the level 1, the really low level psychological non-harming ones. That one's going to take like level 10 or something, 9ish, 5ish type ones, and the ones you really have to keep locked away from everyone. I'm going to put stilts off this later, but this is what it does to a natural village. I really like the door. I've also got this part here, but it's like the underground bit, so like an SCP was discovered down here. like a contained SCP type thing. But some things I have to do later. One of those things includes I've blocked off every hole and exit. Like every nook and cranny that leads out. This wall took a little while to build. I had to build it like that. You can see in the original outline at the top where I built I built line by line. It takes quite a while to get it like that one. But yeah, eventually it's all going to be this block. It's all going to be iron, a block of iron. 3 blocks I've been using. A block of iron, because it gives an amazing SCP look. Very black, very bland. The white for like laboratories, because it looks amazing. If you didn't notice, I built this. Like, it's got steps on top because it's all like that. It's got lights in it. And it's all glass and you can all see down. Actually you can see down, so it's like an observatory part. My hopes are to do more with this. This map is called SCP. Here's my character. But yeah. And I got a crowbar. You know, it reminds me of when I see like the crowbar, I just think Half-Life. That'd be a really cool mod in this game. Half-Life mod, like skin textures, really cool. There was a military one on here, but I'd rather get the SCP stuff because this is kind of cool. It does texture spiders and cows and that. Right, there is some change. I could do a thing later here and put like SCP-121 or something like that. It's like ground, it sucks the ground away and it eats. Also, look what it's done to the villagers. Here's a villager. Kind of cool, snazzy, kind of a bit textured, a bit not textured, if that makes sense. It's got like kind of like a tone of SCP shit. Yeah. Thank you for watching. That's all I'm just gonna say. This will be my next project for Minecraft. Oh, by the way, we haven't done a review on my other project. Let's go back. So it's been a while since I came here. Oh, by the way, coloured glass got rid of and changed into different SCP. I saw like the SCP thing a while ago and I wanted that. More like the miniature ones. Like the miniature ones, they're quite cool. It's like cool miniature texture pack to it. I quite like it. But it's like, at the end of the day, this is my big one. We're going to lag quite a bit. Yep, here comes the lag. So, since last time, a bit has changed. So to the south, we're heading to the south. I have built that, which is supposed to be an Asda, but I just never finished it. I built the outline. I built a delivery trading sandstorm. How I do trading in this game is I basically build an incinerator because there's no actual way to teleport things around. This one uses a chest system, which is stupid, but that's just like an incentive type one. This part of the area has now got potato farms. The south is all potato farms and has fort line. I built some forts, a small amount of trenches and fortifications, which look quite good. Definitely World War II and medieval mixed together. That's the theme, really. Like this one here, because you can actually shoot at these. This is more for low ground. This is more for the high ground type thing. Because you want to see why these are built trenches like this. It's so you can go whoop whoop and whoop. Still fire at these. That's why I like the steps. Instead of just having a block here, I can step up if I need to go down. Things like that. So I built this recently. What else have I done? Alright. So I've built quite a bit this side. I haven't touched that. I haven't touched anything for a while. Oh, yes, this is the other thing I did. You may not even notice this. When I have dug out this, some of this, and I'm going to turn it into a farm pretty soon. Like a hyper farm. Or whatever, I don't care. I had a problem with villagers overpopulating, so I had to kill a lot of them off. Yeah, this is still empty, by the way. I built this, it's empty, there's nothing in it. So are these, they're just built. I just built a lot, and I have no real idea of what I want to use them for. I don't know if I showed it off last time. But this area, I'm planning to build a bigger wall around this area soon. Built another mine and I can't remember where I built it. Oh, we can find it later. Oh yeah. So I built an underwater base. Just a small underwater thing, because why not? See, until I learnt the trick, sponges soaked with water. I remember I used to have to build it and put block by block, and then I went, so you can use sponge? And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. And it made me feel really stupid, because it's like, for years of playing this game, I didn't know what sponges even did. I just thought a sponge was like, oh, so it's an item, and it's like, cool. And it was like, so you know you can use it for this, right? I was like, what? Where did I build? Wait. I built it in something. Ah, that's what it is. It's this one. I decided to dig out under here and build quite a nice tunnel. And later I'll expand this, but this is like a kitchen area. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to do is like most of the buildings on this map. Because to be fair, the way I really would end up building this is I'd build like the outline and all these empty rooms, but filling them with things is what I want to do. So I built these beds and hospitals and that, because getting a design for those things is quite easy. But knowing what you want to do next is the problem. Like storage container, like the SCP thing. I built a thing up there like it's capturing something. So it's high up above everyone. kind of funny how big you can build something. So I love to build like this. So all that down there is mine. There's this village, and there was this village. I built a road along here ages ago when I actually started this map, and I built bridges and a road, and there's none of this. None of this was here. Not even that was there. I built this later on, and I dug all the way there, and I built like little, I think that, and a little thing there. One of those three over there, and then connected the villages, and I built this. It was a fortress, but I built this fortress with a stone wall at the beginning, and I built this ender wall around here because I wanted to expand. And I was just sat on the phone talking to someone. I was like building this, and I was like, yeah, so I'm going to expand. And I put a thing around that village because like now I'm going to contain that village as well. And it's a little bit more. When I started, I'm sorry if it lags a little if you see that. It was this farm. This didn't have grass on top, by the way. I actually put grass on top of this. Half of this anyway. I built this little hut. That, and it was this, not even underground. Then I expanded this to underground. So it's like a medieval town underground. Yeah, and cringe, don't forget the cringe. And I built this. This is when I first tried piston work. This is my first piston work. By the way, I learned the simple circuits, and I learned that switch is connected to 4 blocks. Because I used to not know, I still don't know how to do circuits in this game properly. I can make them, but I don't know how to make them tiny, if that makes sense. I'm sure there's someone who can show you how you can make like this whole amazing thing, like have a door here open from like 4 squares. I don't know how to do that. I know how to make pistons work, I know I need to get all the blocks. That is it. So I think I didn't touch on much last time I was here, because a lot of this built for a while. I'm planning to build like a farm here. I just said that a minute ago. You know, we got all the things here, the prison and all this lot, and I've just, when I feel like expanding, I expand it. By the way, that water's all put in by me, and getting to do this was a pain, but I got to do that, like soaking up water. So yeah, all this wasn't here. A lot of things weren't here. This was all just blank canvas. I had to build everything, which is very, very annoying. I love how the pre-built like sand just stays flowing, but hey, a lot of things happen. Also at one point I was like, I need to build underground, you know, tunnels and everything. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna build a lot. So I built quite a bit. I streamed some. I never streamed my building because building normally takes up to 2 to 3 hours, and I split it over days, and it's like it's not really entertaining me. You know, listen to me sitting there listening to music, and I can't really show that music. So it's boring to see me sitting there trying to figure out what I want to build. Like this sort of thing. Simplest form, but it looks amazing because it's like really cool to look at something like this where you've built down like an actual mine shaft and put like stabilizers. Where's the... There's also now a hole in the ceiling. And I worked out that lanterns can go in the water. Yeah, so quite a bit's happened. There is another underwater tunnel, I just don't remember where it is. Oh wait, that submarine is really stealth at night. Got the battleship. Got the submarine that really still isn't finished. I have no idea what I want to do with it. I built like the weapons in the back, like the nuclear ones, so that you could put the payload in the back. But I have no clue what I want to do. Any suggestions, any ideas, if anyone watches, give me a hit up, give me a clue, and I'll get on building it. Because I built the thing based off the Vulcan, just has no tail, and I'll give it my best. That, by the way, that's the fox on the logo next to my character. Good luck. I hope to see you soon.